Good morning, New Zealand. Today is 10/5/2017. Date New Zealand is 10/6/2017. In front of me, you can see I have a map of Google Earth, and we're just going to run down the quakes that happened since yesterday and into this morning. Our first quake we're going to start with is a 3.4. It was 87 kilometers deep at the south tip of South Island. At the tip of South Island. This was near Dana Peaks. Doubtful Island and Middle Ford. We'll get a good view of it. Our next quake we're going to look at was a 2.2. It was 59 kilometers in depth. This was over here in the Cook Strait. Our next quake was a 2.1. This was back over here in the Cook Strait area as well. This is more towards the Seddon area. Our next quake is a 2.3. This was back over here in the Cook Strait as well. Off of the South Taranaki Bight. The next quake was a 2.8. This was towards the east coast of the North Island. And that's off the Waipo River. And our next quake was a 1.5. Not a biggie. But this hit towards where some houses are. Our next quake was a 2.0. It was 55 kilometers in depth. This was back here towards Taupo. And you can also see that this is a deforestation area where trees are removed to make paper and other items, and the trees are replanted. Our next quake was a 3.7. And this is also on the east coast of the North Island. You can tell it's near Makiri, which is right here. The next quake was a 1.5. It was 60 kilometers in depth. This is off the end of the North Island. More towards Takaha. And Mau Bay. The next quake was a 2.3. It was 70 kilometers in depth. This was also in the South Taranaki Bight area and the Cook Strait. The next quake was a 1.1. This was back here in between Taupo and Lake Rotorua. And sorry if I'm getting the names not pronounced correctly, but I'm trying. You can see this is the Tongariro National Trout Center. We can come down here and take a better look. You can see we have boats over here, I believe. They look like boats. The next quake was a 2.1. It was 199 kilometers in depth. This was near the Tahminini stream. This quake here will probably produce more smaller quakes. The next quake was a 1.4. This quake was behind Tongariro National Park volcano. We could come in here and take a good look. The next quake was a 1.7. That's near Afrodonton School. The next quake was a 2.2. It was 86 kilometers in depth. The next quake was a 1.0. It was 54 kilometers in depth. This is also back over here on the east coast of North Island. That's near Flemington. The next quake was a 2.3. And that hit near somebody's house, I believe. Or, yeah, it's a house. This is farming area. Over here it looks like there's some mining going on. Or construction, but it looks more like mining. The next quake was a 2.1. This was back over here on South Island. West Coast. And it's near Mount O'Connor and Mount Williams. This is the Cascade Range. It's also near Bonds Peak. The next quake was a 1.5. This is on the North Island, near Tahminini College. And Takitui River. And we're going to see what this is. Looks like hay. Maybe. Can't tell. It's more like milk, maybe. RG said, if somebody knows what it is, feel free to put it down below the video. Also have some removal here. Next quake was a 2.6. It was 137 kilometers in depth. This was near Kakapito Bush, Bay of Plenty area. Oops. Next quake was a 2.0. It was 46 kilometers in depth. It was towards Wellington in the harbor. Let's see if we can land down here and take a look. That is gorgeous. Except for the roads. Next quake was a 1.4. Hang on, you guys, 1 second. Okay, I'm back, you guys. This 1.4 was near Makakai River. The next quake was a 2.5. This was near Kakura. It was in the water. Bottle Lake Forest. Kakuri River comes through here. And the Pines Beach. The next quake was a 2.6. And it was 97 kilometers deep. This was also at the end of the North Island. This is in the Bay of Plenty here. The next quake was a 1.8. This was was in between Topo and let's say Taharutu. Sorry. The next quake was a 2.0. It was on the east coast of North Island. That's why he falls over here. The next quake was a 0.6. This is heading back over here near the national park. We'll take a look real quick. See all the houses down here, so it hit near town. But this over here on the hill, I'm not sure what this is. But it hit near that area. This is a scientific reserve over here. And it's behind Mount Rapejo. The next quake was a 1.4. This is near Kateki. And Tongariro forest park's right there. Then you have the national park over here. And Tongariro is over here. The next quake was at 1.7. This is near Teneroto. And look at these areas here. The next quake was at 2.5. It was 50 kilometers in depth. Interesting. NCWQ River again. The next quake was at 3.0. It was 169 kilometers in depth. This was off the end of the North Island. That's in the Bay of Plenty. And this is Matuno Island. The next quake was a 2.8. This was down here also, towards the tip of the South Island. And this is Shotover River. And that's 16 Mile Creek over here. Next quake was a 2.2. This was over here in the South Taranaki Bight area. Next quake was a 1.6. This is off of Seddon in the Cook Strait. The next quake was a 3.6. It was 106 kilometers in depth. This quake was off of the North Island, off of Hicks Bay, so almost straight out. This one can lead up to a 4.6. The next quake was at 1.8. This was near Rakamara Forest Park. Next quake was a 1.4. And this was off of Seddon. That's Cape Campbell Lighthouse right here. The next quake is a 2.5. And that's Manukau there. Next quake was a 1.5. This was also back over here. This is a military area, I believe. No street available there. Yeah, if I'm correct, it is. Yeah, it's military camp here. The next quake is a 2.2. This was off the end of the North Island. Next quake was a 2.4. This was towards the end of the North Island as well. And that's the Ottawa River. The next quake was a 2.0. This is in the Bay of Plenty as well. Next quake was a 1.1. This hit back over here towards Volcano. This is Tongariro or Mount Rapahu. So let's get a look. There's an Alpine Sports Club here. Let's see. So it's up here. That's Alpine Sports Club. Then you have the Desert Alpine Club. Wonder if you can land there. Let's see if there's a road view. Can't. Okay, now we go on to the 6th. And we start with a 4.5, which is 599 kilometers in depth, which is Fiji. Which is right in here. The next quake was a 2.0. And it was 159 kilometers in depth. And this is down by Kerosene Creek. And should be able to land there. So our quake happened out in here. Rainbow Mountain Trek. Our next quake was a 2.2. This happened off of Gisborne. Next quake was a 1.6. And this is Herbertville down here. Next quake was a 1.4. This is near Woodville. And this is Woodville here. Next quake was a 1.6. That's Ura Forest. And then of course we have Mount Narangaho over here. And Tongariro and Mount Repejo. Next quake was a 2.3. It was 85 kilometers in depth. It was off the end of the North Island as well. The next quake was a 0.5. It was back over here at Mount Repejo. That's Manawatu Wanganui. That quake was 6 kilometers deep. The next quake was a 2.2. It was 83 kilometers in depth. This is over here near Stoke or Stone? Stoke. And that's Nelson. If we look down here, it looks like we have some mining. We have a road here. Let's see if we can land and look. Nope. So we can't land there. But that is Grampians Reserve up here. Next quake was a 3.1. This is back here, and this is the South Taranaki Bight area. Next quake was a 1.8, and it was 86 kilometers in depth. This is also off the end of the North Island. This is near Tekeha. Omako Bay. Next quake was a 2.6. It was 51 kilometers in depth. This is near White Island. This is White Island here. The next quake was a 1.7. This is also on the east coast of the North Island. And that's Coronation Park, River's Edge Holiday Park, CHB Settlers Museum. And that's the Wapara River. Wapawe River, yes. The next quake is a 2.2. This looks like it happened in a housing area. Let's take a look. So it would have been in this area. See what that is. We can see right there. See if we can go that way and find out. Maybe if we turn, we'll find a name. Hazchem. So that's Hazchem, hazardous chemicals. So I'm not sure what that is. But that is pretty close to here. Next quake was a 1.2. So I'm not sure what that is either. Our next quake was a 1.5. Actually, let's go back one. I saw something I wanted to look at. Danger, keep out. Haterma. Lime Company. So that's mining. So I just saw as I was going up, there's a mining area right here. Okay, now we're going to the 1.5. And if we notice, here's a geothermal. Now get to Marquee Power Station. You can see this place is huge. Even all the way out to here. Let's see if we have a ground view. No. And the last quake for now is a 1.6. This is towards Napier. Napier is over here. And that's National Regional Park over here. Pakaway. And this is the Naroro River. Sorry you guys, I'm trying to pronounce it as best I can. This is a Karamu stream. We also have, looks like a wood area here, so we'll land for a minute and see what it is. That's towing and storage. Those look like wood pallets. For sale or lease, that's Hawke's Bay Towing. Wait a minute, let's go back one. Look at this sign. Diamond. That's waste solutions. Anyway, I'm not seeing what I was looking for. This is what I was looking for. Maybe. It's fuel. So it's a gas station there. Or a fuel company. Anyways, you guys, that completes my update. Please tune in. And thank you for being here. Please tune in to Dutch Sense for your latest update. Thank you guys and much love.